From the west, a cold front, riding in high on the jet stream. From the Gulf of Mexico, a low mass of moist, warm, unstable air heading northward. And when they collided, from early morning, the Weather Service warnings were out. From the Gulf to the Canadian border.
Tornado watch for this area has now been changed to tornado warning.
Tornadoes are hitting Tennessee, Georgia, Ohio, 2 in Illinois, 2 more in Indiana. Another sighted near Hardinsburg, Kentucky, heading toward Brandenburg, a sleepy little river town 25 miles southwest of Louisville. At the radio station, just west of town, announcer Bill Byrne receives a telephone call telling of its coming. The only warning, a last-second shout, and in 30 seconds, 31 people will die.
Here we have the Fujita scale, or the EF scale. It was developed to measure the strength of tornadoes. There's about 35 F3 and about 23 F4 and only about 6 F5 tornadoes in the 1974 tornado outbreak. As we can see by this graph here, Tennessee had the most tornadoes out of all the states affected. If we take a look at this map here, we can see that some of the worst tornadoes were in northern Alabama, and there was a few in southern Indiana and Ohio. Most of the tornadoes were scattered throughout Kentucky and Tennessee, though, as we can see by looking at this graph, but those tornadoes were, for the most part, minor. Still did damage, but minor. Here we can see the squall lines. Squall lines are narrow bands of high winds and storms, or tornadoes, that form when a cold front is present. These squall lines, the first one goes through southern Illinois and Indiana into Ohio. The second one goes across northern Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky. The third one goes northern Alabama again, and northern Georgia, and into the Carolinas. By looking at this map, we can see that most of the major cities were not affected too horribly by these tornadoes, except for Cincinnati. Cincinnati had 2 that went through almost right through the middle. Who were affected the most were the small towns and the farmers. That's where the most damage occurred, is in those small towns and those farm fields, tearing up trees, wiping out crop fields left and right. There's about $600 million worth of monetary damage. And as you can see looking at the chart there, most of it was in Indiana and Ohio, mainly because of the big cities that were affected there, but it was a fair bit in Alabama and Tennessee as well, as well as Kentucky. The Red Cross set up 6 shelters in the most affected areas, but within 4 days those shelters were closed down. They then set up 1 soup kitchen that was permanent, and they also had 6 mobile soup kitchens that were feeding people all around the affected areas.